Welcome, cooks. We are doing part 2 of our stand mixer palooza. This time we are looking at stand mixers that are over $200. So these are the premium mixers on the market. We're going to be looking at mixers starting at $200 that go up to almost $1,000. Sit back, relax, because we have some serious stand mixer geeking ahead of us. So join me for part 2 of our stand mixer palooza, stand mixers that are over $200. So I always say that this is like my very first mixer. And actually it wasn't. My very first mixer was a Sunbeam Mixmaster. But after that, this is my very first grown-up mixer, as I would say. This is the KitchenAid Pro 500. I got this one as a refurbished in the early 90s, and it's still going strong. This is a 5-quart mixer. It's 350 watts. It comes with your standard bowl, dough hook, paddle, and whisk. It has 10 speeds. This one comes in quite a few different colors. This is the classic white. This is the one that I bought when I was inspired by my mentor, Martha Stewart. This was the mixer she used on her show a lot of the time, and so I went out and bought one. So this is the Pro 500 from KitchenAid, 5-quart, 350 watts. So the price on the Pro 500 is really difficult because it can run the spectrum between about $250 and $350. But the problem with this model is they have a tendency to discontinue this model and then bring it back and then discontinue it and bring it back. This one was from the early 90s. I don't even remember what I paid for it. Right now, this model is discontinued, but that doesn't mean that it won't be, it's not available, because some people are still selling them because they hadn't sold them, and or it could come back. I don't know why they do that on this model. This is one of my favorite models of KitchenAid, but this one tends to come in and out, and it's almost it went discontinued when the Pro Line 7 came out. So when the all the glory is over with the Pro Line 7, who knows, they might bring this one back, but you still can get this. There are stores that are still selling this. So the price range could be anywhere from $250 to $350. This is the KitchenAid Classic Plus 4.5 quart mixer. And this is one of my favorite little mixers. I absolutely love it for really basic jobs. I wouldn't do a lot of bread in it, like, more than one loaf and more than just occasionally. But this is a little workhorse for me, and the sound of it is a classic KitchenAid sound. It comes with your standard dough hook, whip, and coated flat beater. Mine did, but you might also get a burnished one. I'm not exactly sure. The standard model, the bowl, does not come with a handle. This is an upgraded bowl that I purchased in addition to the bowl that came with it. So the bowl that comes with it does not have a handle, but you can optionally buy a handle. This model comes in just some basic colors. I've seen it in white. I've also seen it in black and red, and also the silver color. It does not come in the wide range of colors that a lot of the KitchenAid models come in, but I mean, this is not a reason not to get it, because this little mixer is a workhorse for your really basic jobs. it's great to have this plus a larger mixer. Would pair wonderfully with the larger mixer. So this is the KitchenAid Classic Plus. It's a 4.5 quart mixer, 275 watts, and the price varies on this one. It goes anywhere from $249 down to $199. You can definitely catch it on sale for $199. So it's a reasonably priced mixer, and it's one of my favorite. Next is KitchenAid's most popular model of stand mixer. This is the KitchenAid Artisan. And a lot of people love their Artisan. When you think of a KitchenAid stand mixer, a lot of people's visions of a mixer is this mixer right here. It's the KitchenAid Artisan tilt head. This happens to be the design series. It's a little bit more expensive than the regular Artisan mixer. It has upgraded paint. This paint is raspberry ice. I don't know if they make this anymore. It's not, if they do, it's really limited because it's harder to get. I originally had the traditional pink color, and the one I had an issue. So when I returned it, I got this one because they didn't have the other traditional pink in stock. I really like this. I still am missing my other little pink mixer, so one of these days, you never know, I might get one. But this mixer here is the design series. It's 325 watts, just like the regular Artisan. But the design series comes with the glass bowl, and it also comes with the coated beaters. I think it even came with the flex beater. This package that I got had a flex beater as well. A lot of people really like their Artisan mixer. My answer usually is that it's really for basic jobs. It's for basic cookies and cake batters and stuff like that. I have not, used it extensively for making bread. I use larger mixers for that. And so that's just my opinion on that. But a lot of people love the Artisan because it comes in the most colors. I think it was 37 colors at one point. So the colors are all across the rainbow. Anything that you want for your kitchen, you probably could get some kind of color of Artisan to match. So this mixer is, this is a classic right here. So this is the KitchenAid Artisan. This is the design series. It's 5 quart. And the price on these two tend to be higher than even the Pro 600. I see these going for $350, $450. You can get them on sale, but for some reason, to me, a lot of times you can get a better deal on the Pro 600 than you can in the Artisan, and I don't know why that is. The design series is at the top of the line of the Artisan. You generally will pay in the $400 price range. The raspberry ice, very few that are available online, and they're about $450, $500 for this color. So colors really vary in price, as well as features really vary in price on the Artisan. So this one you just have to shop it. So this is the Artisan from KitchenAid. Next up is the KitchenAid Pro 600. This is a 6 quart mixer. With the wattage is kind of strange on this mixer, because if you get a flat Pro 600, it has 575 watts. But if you get the Pro 600 Design Series, it has 550 watts. So the difference would be the Design Series automatically comes with a coated beater, but it does have upgraded paint options that aren't available on the other one. Mainly they have sort of like a sparkly finish to them, some of the Design Series colors. So this mixer was the one that I got to upgrade from the Pro 500. I just kind of wanted a little bigger mixer, even though the Pro 500 is technically one of my favorite mixers. But there was a funny story behind this mixer if you watched my pan room tour, in that Eric got some points from work and was able to shop this catalog. And so as soon as I heard that, guess what I ordered using his points? This mixer, right? So I technically got it for free, but Eric always reminds me that the dollar value that they charged for this was taxed on to his taxes at the end of the year. So it wasn't totally free, but it was sort of free. So this mixer comes with a lot of the great KitchenAid options. Of course, it has the hub for all the attachments. It has a slow start, a soft start feature. This mixer here is the nickel pearl color, but I think it comes in 22 to 25 different colors. So you have a lot greater color range on this one than you do the Pro 500 or the Classic Plus. This is a bigger mixer, and you can do 2 loaves of bread in this. Not all the time, but you can do 2 loaves of bread in this mixer. And it comes with your standard dough hook, whisk, and paddle. So the prices on this mixer are really funny because they run the entire spectrum. You can find these refurbished in the $250 price range. And if you want, you want one that's not refurbished, the prices can run $350 to $500 almost. It really depends on when you catch it and the retailer. One note that I can give you is there are some retailers out there that will sell this kind of mixer on like a special. So there's a large retailer out there that that is on TV. They have a 24-hour shopping channel, if you know. And they run this as a special value of the day every once in a while. And I really heard that people have had trouble with those. I don't know if because they're getting some special deal with KitchenAid, they're running those suckers through the line faster. I don't know what it is, but several people that I've talked to that have bought those on that value that they run every once in a while they've been a little bit more troublesome than other mixers. So I don't know if it's exactly the same model. I haven't had any trouble with mine. So that's just a note, something to be aware of. So this is the KitchenAid Professional 600 mixer, and this one is 575 watts, but if you get the design series, it is 550 watts. Yeah, I've had this one for years and years. Next up is one of my favorite mixers of all time. If you know anything about my crazy adventure to find a Martha Green stand mixer, you will know what I'm talking about. This is the mixer that I got when I couldn't find a Martha Green, because it's the closest thing that KitchenAid made. And it is an exclusive color to Williams-Sonoma, and it was called Seacrest Green, and it was made in the early 90s. And this mixer was very, very hard for me to find. It is a very rare color. After having a search going on eBay for more than 7 years, finally this one came up and I snatched it up. So this is a KitchenAid Epicurean made in the early 90s as an exclusive for Williams-Sonoma. It is the model that I believe became the Pro 600. So everything for the Pro 600 works on this mixer. So the bowl, the beater, the dough hook, and the whisk from the Pro 600 all work on this mixer, the Epicurean. It is obviously a bowl lift mixer. It's 475 watts according to the band on the mixer and on the write-ups for the descriptions of this mixer. It says it's 475 watts. But when you flip it over, the nameplate on the bottom says maximum 400 watts. So I don't know what KitchenAid was doing on the Epicurean, whether it is in fact 475 watts or 400 watts. It's one of the two, right? But that kind of stuff doesn't surprise me. So this here, you're looking at one of the rarest colors in the KitchenAid line. This is the Seacrest green. It is no longer made, and it is one of my absolute favorite colors of all time because it is a jadeite color. This one is a little darker, we will see, with the Martha green, but I love it. So unfortunately it's not available, but you know, you can find them every once in a while. You might stumble on one. If you do, snatch that baby up because it's very rare. So I hope you guys don't mind why I geek and gawk at this mixer for just a second. And just to make this a little fun, here's the Martha green. This is also an Epicurean made in the early 90s. This was an exclusive from Martha by mail. So this is Martha Stewart's signature green color. And you can see the difference. The Seacrest is a little bit darker than the Martha green. This is probably, the Seacrest being very rare, the Martha green is a very, very rare mixer. It is so hard to find this mixer, and I spent years and years looking for them. The few people that I've found since then that have one love theirs as well as I do. There's actually an Artisan in this color as well. So maybe someday one of those will come along, right? But I just got this on Facebook Marketplace. This thing popped up and I saw it and I was like, it's an Epicurean. It looks like the color. So I had emailed the seller and confirmed the model number. Definitely a Martha green. I confirmed it with KitchenAid. And I ran out there to get this mixer. I was so happy when I saw it. I like plowed out there to get it. So the Martha green came home to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen to sit next to the Seacrest in my collection, and I'm so, so glad to have it. What's funny about this is this also is 475 watts, but the nameplate on the bottom says 475. So I don't know why the Seacrest says 400 underneath and 475 on the band. Maybe that's just something that was mismarked. I don't know. But these two together round out my absolute favorite colors of mixers. And I'm so glad to have these in the pan room. And I just absolutely love them. So these are the Epicurean, Martha green, and Seacrest. Am I the only one in the world that puts their stand mixers on a spinner and watches them go round and round?
For hours and hours.
This is the KitchenAid Commercial 8. It is an 8-quart mixer that has 1.3 horsepower. It is NSF certified, so it could be used in a commercial setting. One thing that's unique about this KitchenAid is it comes with all stainless steel attachments. So the whisk, the paddle, and the dough hook are all heavy stainless steel. This mixer is an Empire Red color. It doesn't come in very many colors. The commercial mixer is pretty limited. It comes in a dark pewter, this red, a nickel pearl, a white, and an onyx black. This is a very big mixer. It has a huge bowl on here. So you can do a lot of material in there. It's all metal gear casing, and it can do quite a bit. I think I did 4 loaves of bread, and this is the most that I've done, and it did a pretty good job. The bowl on it is significantly bigger than the Pro 600, so just be aware of that. But this is probably one of the most powerful mixers that you can get in a KitchenAid, is this Commercial 8. The Pro Line 7 has the same watts, but the bowl on this is just a little bit bigger. It has a DC motor, so it's very quiet compared to the Pro 600. So the cost on this mixer is about $700. It is a very expensive mixer, and I rarely see it go on sale. There are options where you can get a bowl guard on it that you would use in a commercial setting. I think that adds about $150 to the price, or it adds about $50 to the price. So it's about $6.99 for the basic mixer, $7.49 if you want one with the bowl guard. I don't want one because it kind of makes it difficult to get the ingredients in it. You would mainly use that in a commercial setting if you were required to have a bowl guard for safety purposes. So this is the KitchenAid 8-quart commercial mixer with 1.3 horsepower. This is the Hobart HL6. This mixer is very unique because it was a prototype for a potential mixer to replace the N50. It's quite rare because they only made one run of this mixer and they gave them away to employees. I happened to get this from a neighbor of a Hobart executive. I got a really great deal on it, and this is actually one of my favorite mixers. It is a beast of a mixer, and I can tell you that this is a 6-quart, and I'm not exactly sure how many watts it has, but it's really actually a lot different than you see in a traditional home mixer, because a lot of times with these commercial mixers, you'll see that they're only about 300 or so watts, but they're really geared differently, and you can't compare that against a home mixer, because sometimes you really wonder about the watts that they state on home mixers, because this mixer is certainly way more powerful than anything that's even up in a 1,000, 1,200 watt range. This mixer just tears them all to shreds. So it's difficult to judge that wattage because it's not really comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So this is a 6-quart mixer. It is quite the machine, let me tell you. I was actually able to get a second bowl for it as well as a second paddle. I really would like to get another whip, dough hook, and the pastry cutter for it. So I think I know where I can get one, but it's kind of a challenge. because this mixer was never put into production. So it is my little gem in my pan room. It sits atop my knife cabinet, and I'm surprised I haven't put a spotlight on it yet, but that might be coming, right? This is an absolute gem in the kitchen, and if you are even thinking about getting a Hobart, maybe an N50, I think you'll really be happy with the results that you get out of it. It is not a pretty mixer by any stretch of the imagination. This is a mixer for someone who really wants to get down in the kitchen. And that is the mission of this mixer, is to get the job done. And it certainly does that. So this is my Hobart HL6 prototype mixer. I'm so happy to have it in the pan room, and it's quite a beast, but it is also absolutely amazing. So this is a lineup of my KitchenAids, and I put my little Hobart in there as well. So we have the Classic Plus starting on the right. This is a metallic silver, 4.5 quart. We have the Artisan in raspberry ice, and this is a 5 quart. We have the Pro 500 in classic white. That's my original KitchenAid. We have the Pro 600 in nickel pearl. That is the second KitchenAid that I ever got. We have the Epicurean in Martha Green. That's also a 6 quart. The Epicurean in Seacrest Green. We have the Commercial 8 in Empire Red. And then we have the Hobart HL6 in the classic Hobart Silver. This is the Kenwood Cooking Chef. This mixer is really unique because it has an induction cooker right in the mixer. So you can mix as usual, or you can heat and mix at the same time. So you can make soups, risotto, melt chocolate, all kinds of stuff in this mixer. This is a 7 quart mixer. It is 1150 watts cooking and 800 watts mixing. It is silver. This mixer comes with all kinds of attachments with it when you buy it. So it has a blender, a food processor, everything you need for the cooker. It is a full function mixer. It's got hubs on the top, 2 on the top for the blending and the food processing, and then it has one on the front, and you can get all the optional accessories that Kenwood makes. You can use with this mixer. It has probably just as many as KitchenAid has. Kenwood is not that known here in the US, but over in Europe, this is one of the most popular, probably one of the most popular mixers over there. It's been around for many, many years, and it has a really good reputation for long lasting as well as its power. So we did a test on this mixer, and it's absolutely fantastic. So this is the Kenwood Cooking Chef. So the cost of this mixer, when it originally came out in the US, was $2,000. And in the US, we haven't really caught on to this whole concept of having a mixer with a cooker in it. And I don't know how well it's sold. After a couple years, you could get it for about $1,100. And then they stopped selling it here in the US. So I got a really good deal at Charlotte on this mixer. I got an unbelievable deal on this mixer. It's currently not available in the US. They do still sell a new model in the UK. It's pretty expensive as well. But yeah, this mixer is no longer available. So I'll put a link to a regular 7-quart Kenwood without the induction cooker in it in the description. This is a Kenwood Chef Titanium. It's a 5-quart mixer. This is 750 watts. And this mixer, I love it. It has 3 hubs on it. It has 1 on the front and 2 on the top. And you can use all the Kenwood attachments, the blender, the food processor, the meat grinder, the pasta, everything you can use with this mixer. It is a tilt head. It is, the price on this mixer is kind of high for a 5-quart tilt head. It's about $450, $500 for this mixer. You know, part of that is a lot of KitchenAids are really expensive overseas, and they're a lot cheaper in the US. Kenwood is a little cheaper over there and more expensive over here. I would say Kenwood is a really robust mixer, and we did a full test on this mixer, so I will leave a link to that in the description. So this is a Kenwood Chef Titanium 5-quart mixer at 750 watts, and it comes in this, only in this silver color. So next up is a Viking Twins. And you're probably wondering how I have 2 of these mixers. This is the Viking 7-quart. It's 1,000 watts. This mixer was made in the early 90s and it was discontinued. It is made by Viking. I ended up with 2 because I always wanted one of these Viking mixers, and I found one of these, the one that's on the spinner. It was brand new in the box, and I found it on eBay, and I just had to have it. So I got it. And about a year later, this second one came up. It had only been used probably twice, and it was for a bargain price. I actually ended up paying half what I paid for the first one. And I was like, I'm getting it. And I sort of told Eric that I would keep it for a little while and maybe get rid of it. And guess what? It's still here. And it's not going anywhere. So I have 2 Viking mixers. And these mixers they're incredible for the mixer lover. They are big, they are clunky. Everything you would say about a mixer, you would say, this thing is like a beast. But I still love them. They have 2 hubs on them. So the top comes off just like a Kenwood. And I'm almost thinking that these were probably made by Kenwood. They look a lot alike Kenwood, even in the way the hubs work. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but it wouldn't surprise me. So there's a hub on the front and a hub on the back, and it has a blender, a food processor, and all the fun attachments. You still can get them here and there on eBay. Yeah, this is one of those things that's sort of like my Martha Green mixer and my Kenwood, my HL6. It's one of those things that I didn't buy this because I thought, wow, this is going to be a daily driver. It's going to be one of those type of mixers. I bought this because I just like them for some reason. And so that's why they are in the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So these are the Viking 7-quart mixers, 1,000 watts. I'm not sure what the price was when these originally came out. I would imagine they were relatively expensive.
I think the 7 was around, what, $600?
Yeah, the 7-quart was around $600.
And I think the 5-quart was around, was it 4 something, 500?
Yeah, probably 500 for the
5-quart.
around 500 for the 5-quart and 600 for the 7-quart. I didn't pay nearly that much for these, but yeah, these are my twin babies. So I love them. This is the Cuisinart 5.5 quart mixer. This mixer has 800 watts. It comes with 3 hubs, 2 on the top and 1 in the front, and it has quite a few attachments: blender, food processor, meat grinder, all that fun stuff. This mixer is no longer made. They have a new model that's out. I haven't tried the new model, but from the looks of it, I prefer this older model as opposed to the newer one. The newer one has a really strange look to it to me. This comes in a 5.5 and a 7-quart model. The price of this 5.5 quart, it was about $250. It came in chrome, black, and this white color. Cuisinart doesn't have a huge selection of colors. They tend to, with all their appliances, stick with the chrome, the black, or the silver, the black, and the white, with across their whole product line. This mixer performed fairly well, so I'll put a link down in the description to the video since it's not available anymore. So this is a Cuisinart 5.5 mixer at 800 watts. This is the Smeg stand mixer. It's 5 quarts with 600 watts. So what's interesting about this mixer is it has the Smeg 50s retro style. And one of the things when we tested this mixer is, you know, if you're really into that 50s style and you want something maybe to match your other Smeg appliances, this mixer is really funky looking. It does have a big old top on it, so it kind of looks like the baby Hindenburg.
It looks like a blunt.
But it is kind of interesting. It comes in several colors: pink, blue, white. I happened to get a discount on this one, so that's how I ended up with the silver. I can say, you know, without really going into my review on this, I did a full review on this. I'll put a link in the description. The Smeg was like actually one of my least favorite mixers. It is a really funky style, but it just didn't perform well in my opinion. The price on this mixer is fairly expensive for a 5-quart mixer. It's in the $450 price range. So I think most people that are buying this mixer are basically buying it for its styling. So this is the Smeg 5-quart mixer, 600 watts, and it's in the silver color. This is a Kenmore Elite Ovation. It's a 5-quart, 500-watt motor. What's unique about this mixer is it has a pour-through top and a full splash guard that goes all the way around. It comes with a glass bowl. This mixer, when I first got it, I was really excited about this new innovation. I'll leave a link down in the description for my full test and review. I do plan to do something coming up here between this mixer and a KitchenAid. I wanted to demonstrate the creaming method, which is essential to making a lot of basic recipes. And we're going to look at what is good creaming from a mixer and what isn't. So we will be doing that pretty soon. This mixer originally came out at almost $400. When I originally placed my order, it was $399. By the time it was released, I think I paid $350 for it. And most recently, I've seen this around the just about $200 price point. I think it's usually about $199 to $200, and I actually saw it for $99 over the recent holiday weekend. So it's not currently available right now on Sears.com. I'm not sure why. It is available on Amazon. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. But this is the Kenmore Ovation 5-quart mixer at 500 watts. So this is the traditional planetary style Kenmore Elite. They've been making this mixer for quite a while. The Ovation came along more recently. This is a 5-quart mixer, and it is 400 watts. What's unique about this mixer is it has a light so you can see inside the bowl. I haven't yet really had a chance to use this mixer. I'm going to be doing a full test and review on it. It comes with a hub on the front and for the attachments. And a lot of people have this rumor going around that this is made by KitchenAid, because Kenmore is made by Whirlpool, and Whirlpool owns KitchenAid. I'm not exactly sure about that. We've been to the KitchenAid factory twice, and I didn't see them making any Kenmores in there. So I'm assuming that it possibly could be made by Whirlpool, but probably made in China, as opposed to KitchenAid. The parts to it are made all over the world, but it's assembled here in the U.S. And I would imagine that this one isn't. I am interested in putting this to the test. We might be doing some stuff with this against the Ovation, as well as just a traditional test and review on it. And so this is the Kenmore Elite traditional planetary style mixer. This mixer goes for about $225. This is the Bosch Universal. It's, I believe, a 6-quart mixer, and it's 700 watts. Now, I call this my old school Bosch because this is the first Bosch that I ever got. Me and Eric were taking a trip across the country. We had stopped at the KitchenAid factory, and we also went out to this little small company out in the middle of nowhere called Pleasant Hill Grain. And they were located in a trailer, and we went in there and we purchased this mixer along with a couple bags of wheat, a couple of buckets of wheat. And we also purchased a Nutrimill grain mill. I can't say that I've used this mixer that much, but it is pretty fantastic. The only issue I had with it is it has a tendency to walk around on the counter. Bosch has tons and tons of attachments that go to this mixer, and I call this my old school Bosch because this is my original Universal Plus. So they've come out with a new model, and let's take a look at that one. So here is the Bosch Universal Plus. This is the new upgraded model from the Universal. I got this. Santa Eric brought me this one year. It was pretty daggone awesome because I got this one and the Commercial 8 KitchenAid all at once at one Christmas. This mixer is 6.5 quarts and it's 800 watts. A lot of the attachments that work for this one work across to the old Bosch, and it also works to the Nutrimill. the Nutrimill Artiste, and we will be looking at that next. I would say these are high capacity mixers. So you're not going to be doing one egg white in one of these mixers. This is one of these mixers where you're pulling out all the stops, you're making multiple batches. It's great for the holidays coming up. I would say if you plan to do some baking for the holidays and you have a smaller mixer, you might want to start thinking about moving up to adding a Bosch to your collection, or another mixer we're going to be looking at as well, and that's the Ankarsrum. This mixer goes for about $3.99. They have a lot of different packages that you can get a lot of accessories with this mixer. So it depends on sort of the configuration that you get, will dictate the price. What we also got is a stainless steel bowl. Eric currently has it on the old Bosch. This is the upgraded stainless steel. So they sell two different stainless steel bowls. You just want to make sure you get the upgraded one, because I've heard people have had trouble with the other one. Yeah, it's known to dent and it's a little too thin, so you really want the upgraded bowl. The difference between the old model and this one, first and foremost, the new one has suction cups, so it eliminates the issue that the old one has when it rocked around the countertop. It also has that lip around the bowl that makes it easier to handle, to pour stuff out of. It just makes it a lot easier to manage the bowl. Still runs on the same. It's got that hub on the side where you can run a blender, and it has a hub underneath the bowl where you can put all kinds of different attachments. And they have a ton. Grain mills, ice cream makers, everything you can think of they have for the Bosch. So this is the Bosch Universal Plus mixer. This is the Nutrimill Artiste. It's 650 watts and it's 6.5 quart bowl. What's interesting about this mixer is a lot of people call it a sister mixer to the Bosch Universal. It is made by the company who distributes the Bosch in the United States. So it is actually very, very comparable to the Bosch. It actually uses a lot of the Bosch accessories. So if you want a lot of attachments and stuff, a lot of them will fit on the Nutrimill. The only ones that really won't is the ones that use the back tower hub, because the Nutrimill doesn't have that hub. So I believe the blender and possibly the food processor. But this mixer uses almost everything that the Bosch Universal uses. In fact, it uses even the cookie paddles, the whips, all that are exactly the same as the Bosch. So if you're looking for an affordable alternative to the Bosch, this might be it, because it has the capacity and it does a fantastic job. It is right around $200 for this mixer. It is a bargain in my book, and you get a lot of the Bosch-like performance and features, but in a really popularly priced package. So this is the Nutrimill Artiste stand mixer. So next we have a really unique mixer. This is the JennAir Artisan. And this mixer is no longer made anymore. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. Someone really had never used it. And I think it's really funky. It has a weird sort of profile to it. It has all these funky bowls that you can get to it that are like ruby red and lots of different diamond designs and stuff like this. This has sort of like rainbow sort of stuff going on it. I think it's really cool. This mixer is 400 watts. It's 4.5 quarts. I think this was made by Maytag, but don't quote me on that. It is not rated very well. People had a lot of trouble with this mixer. I only got it because I think it's kind of neat. So I have no idea the original price on this. I think the price was kind of high. I would say it was probably at least $300, maybe $400. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you remember the original price for the Trezzy. I think it's just kind of a funky mixer. It's Eric says that it's heavy as all get up, and it's probably because of that glass bowl. His first comment on it was, "Is this thing filled with lead?" And who knows, with that with all the color in the glass, I mean, I don't know if those things had lead in them to get that.
It's like those dinosaur TVs. Remember the ones we don't use anymore from the 70s?
Yeah, like a dinosaur TV. Doesn't look like it weighs that much, but boy howdy, this thing is pretty heavy. So this is the Trezzy, the JennAir, and it's actually pretty funky looking. Next up is a very special mixer to me. A lot of people call this the Amy mixer because this is actually a prototype of a mixer that hasn't been released in the US. This is made by a company called EfficientKit, and they sent me this mixer to try out because they were considering bringing their mixer to the US. So if you look on the back of this, the model number is Amy Mixer. I was so happy to get this mixer and so honored that they would send this to me. It is a bright yellow color. It looks a little green on the camera, but it's actually yellow. So this mixer is 7 quart, and it's kind of like a Hobart because it's a commercial rated mixer. So the watts are a lot different than in a household residential kind of mixer. This mixer has 350 watts. And what's unique about this mixer is it's one of the #1 selling mixers in Asia. And if you know anything about the cuisine, you know that Western cuisine relies a lot on bread, and that's not necessarily the case in Asia. So this mixer is really great. It's fantastic for everything like batters, meringues, all that kind of stuff. That's really what it's built for, and for making dumplings. But and it is fantastic for that. We're going to be doing a review of this mixer. Well, we're going to be just doing like a demo, because since this mixer is not available currently in the US, and I'm not sure whether this configuration or this exact build will come here. I used it just to give them some feedback, what I thought of the mixer, and so if it's ultimately brought to the US, it may not be this exact build. But I was so honored to be able to try this mixer out. It is a gem in my collection. You will be seeing this mixer in the future, and just know that it is a prototype, and so we will be using it and having a lot of fun with it. So this is the EfficientKit 7 quart commercial mixer. So this is the famous Ankarsrum. This mixer runs on a different platform than most every other mixer that you will find. It's similar to the Bosch, except instead of the beaters, or in this case a roller, spinning, the roller is stationary and the bowl spins. Except for there's a secondary bowl that has a rod through the middle, and that one has whips and paddles that you can use just like the Bosch. But the main bowl here is used for making bread. This mixer is 600 watts and it is 7.5 quarts. So this mixer sort of runs with a different philosophy because it uses a roller system. And what happens is when you put your ingredients in there to make your bread dough ends up being rolled by the roller into what looks like a donut shape. And the reason it does that is because the machine is kneading the dough between the edge of the bowl, the side of the bowl, and the roller. So the dough comes around and is kneaded between the roller and the bowl. And it really looks like a big donut in there when you're making bread. It also has a large metal dough hook for making heavy wheat doughs. So you're going to make your heavy wheat doughs with a big dough hook, and you're going to make your softer doughs and your more hydrated doughs with the roller. It also has a lot of attachments that go with it that go on the hub below the bowl, and you tip the mixer on the side. So it has just as many attachments as like all the main players in the mixer market. But a lot of people really love this mixer, including me. It makes fantastic bread, and it's very, very unique. This mixer has been made for quite a while, so it's not a newbie on the market. And believe it or not, Ankarsrum makes a lot of parts for other mixers. Even my Hobart HL6, I believe, has parts that come from Ankarsrum because it's a Swedish company and there's parts in that HL6 that are made in Sweden. So I don't know exactly if Ankarsrum is making those parts, but I have heard, rumor has it that they do make parts for a lot of other mixers. So that's pretty interesting. It's a company that's been around a long time, and it definitely runs on a very unique platform compared to everything, compared to KitchenAid, compared to Bosch, everything. And there is a learning curve with this mixer, but once you learn it, you'll love it. This mixer is pretty expensive. The mixer is about $700, so it is a big investment, but, I think it's worth it. So this is the Ankarsrum stand mixer. This one is white. It comes in quite a few different colors. So it's 7.5 quarts, and it's 600 watts. Oh, and Eric says it's very, very shiny.
Ding, ding, ding.
So a little background on the Ankarsrum. It has been around since the 40s. It was originally manufactured by Electrolux, and it has gone through several different brands. It is also known as the DLX. It is known as the Verona, and it is known as Electrolux. And at some point in their history, Electrolux moved the company to a town called Ankarsrum in Sweden and renamed the factory Ankarsrum after the town. So that's where it got its name. It has been around for a long time, and even though it's gone through some name changes and an upgrade on the watts, it still runs on the same sort of platform. So don't think this is a new mixer by any stretch of the imagination. It has been around for a long time. this is the Breville Scraper Mixer Pro. This is the first Breville mixer that came out here in the US. This mixer is very popular, especially over in Australia. This mixer is 5 quart. It's 550 watts. It came with a scraper beater as well as a regular beater, which made it unique for its time. It also has a timer on the mixer. So if you have something that needs to be whipped for 3 minutes, cream for 6 minutes, whatever, you can set the timer and it'll turn off when you want it, when it should be done. We did a full test and review on this mixer, and it recently was replaced by the Breville Bakery Boss. And so we'll take a look at that next. I have one of those as well. I got this at a really good deal at the Williams-Sonoma outlet store. I think I paid like half price for it. It was around $300 for this mixer. $250, $300. I don't necessarily know if this mixer is still available in the US. I think some people still have it, but a lot of people seem to be out of stock. So I don't know the current status of this mixer and its availability, but it is a nice looking mixer. So this is the Breville Scraper Mixer Pro. So this is a Breville Bakery Chef. This is an upgrade from the Scraper Mixer Pro. And one of the things about this mixer is in Australia, they have a model called the Breville Bakery Boss. And it is significantly higher in wattage. And partially that could be because the US is on a different electrical system than most of the rest of the world. We're on 110, where other people are on like 220. So they have more power available than we do in our basic residential plugs. So some of their models tend to have more watts than the ones that we get here. So I think this might be Breville's version of the Bakery Bosch, but just made for the US market. So it's not going to be as robust as a Bakery Boss is that is known in other places. This is an interesting mixer because it comes with 2 bowls. It's got a 5 quart glass bowl that's on it right now, and it also comes with a 4 quart stainless steel bowl. It has a scraper beater, a flat beater, and your usual wire whips and dough hooks. It also has the timer like the Scraper Mixer Pro, but it has a little bit different trim level. If you see across the middle of the mixer head, there's some chrome trim in there. It's just sort of an upgraded version of the Scraper Mixer Pro with the added trim and the additional glass bowl as well as the stainless bowl. I haven't had a chance to do a review on this mixer yet. I've had it for a little while. I actually got it on discount at Home Goods. This mixer was pretty expensive. Some places were charging $350 up to $400 for this mixer. And many places I see now are out of stock on this mixer. Like, not a lot of people are carrying it anymore. And I'm not exactly sure why. I am a little concerned that, whether Breville in the stand mixer, they're getting out of the US market. I don't know. Maybe they have a new model coming out. I'm not sure. But most places, this mixer, the Bakery Chef as well as the Scraper Mixer Pro are out of stock. So It'll be interesting to see if the Breville comes back to the U.S. So this is the Breville Bakery Chef. So we have disco lights. We have an empty spinner. What on earth is going on? What's going on, Boo? There's a new mixer headed to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen, and it is the Wolf. The Wolf was supposed to be here the other day, but there's been a delay in the shipping because Wolf is not exactly ready to ship. So we are eagerly waiting our new little baby to show up in the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen, and he's going to come and sit right here and get a little spin. So as soon as the Wolf arrives, we are going to be doing a full unboxing and test and review of this baby. If you guys aren't familiar with Wolf, it is owned and made by Sub-Zero. So this is like one of the most exciting mixers that I've had come my way really since the HL6, and I'm ready to get the Wolf in my hot little hands. So there's the empty spot for it. The disco lights are on. We're waiting for you, Mr. Wolf. Come on. We want ya. Ow! So cooks, this is the end of our stand mixer palooza. We have literally looked at 37 stand mixers over the course of the last two videos. We did stand mixers under $200 and we did stand mixers over $200. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, how on earth does anybody have this many stand mixers? It's because I love them. And you know what? People collect all kinds of different things. I love my kitchen equipment. So it is what it is, right? I'm having a good time with all these mixers. I hope you enjoyed looking at all of them. Making a decision on a stand mixer can be a big thing because it is a huge purchase. And you want to make the best purchase choice for your money. I'm always asked, which stand mixer should I get? And I cannot answer that for anybody because it really depends on your personal taste and preference. It depends on your mixing style. It depends on your cooking style. Every single cook is different. You can take a look at all these mixers. I have links down in the description for every single mixer that I can find that's currently available. And there are more mixers out there to choose from. Just sit back and take a look at your cooking style. I really think one of the biggest lines between mixers is whether or not you plan to be a bread maker. If you're going to do light bread making or you're going to do heavy bread making, I really think that that is the first line of where you should draw in terms of the mixer that you get. In my personal opinion is there's no one mixer that does everything. And if you really want to have a fully equipped kitchen, like I've said in the past, you're going to want to think about buying your first stand mixer. And as you move, as your cooking progresses, and you move into things like heavier doughs, bread making, heavier cookie doughs, all that kinds of stuff, you want to start thinking about adding another mixer that can handle that kind of stuff. So if you've never had a stand mixer before, choose one of these things and just start cooking, because it does not have to be the last mixer you ever buy. There are mixers great for smaller batches. There's mixers great for bigger batches. And two of them is usually the best combination, at least in my opinion. So our stand mixer palooza. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like this video, please subscribe below. Don't forget to hit the bell because we have a lot more videos ahead. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know if you have a stand mixer, what you like about it, and what do you like about some of my stand mixers in my collection. Also, visit me on my Facebook group. We have a really great group going on. Facebook.com/group/Amy Learns to Cook, and post a picture of your mixers because I love to see all mixers of all types. And also catch me on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook. And you can also see me on Instagram at Cooking with Amy. Yay, mixer.
Stand by for food processor palooza.
Oh gosh, Eric says he wants to do a food processor palooza. Maybe we'll do that. Since Eric is stuck in the disco era, he wanted to make this a true mixer palooza by putting on some disco lights on the mixers. So I had nothing to do with this. This is all Eric.
Can't have a party without party lights.